We conditioned ourselves to not feel. We've even conditioned ourselves to not even experience emotions. I just want to put this up here. There's no science to this, but let's just assume that those two lines represent your emotions. Well, the fact is that people talk about staying within those emotions. And there's some truth to that, right? You don't want to be the fanning fire. You don't want to be the fury of every single part of the transaction where people are yelling, screaming, and all the agitation, all the resentment and anger and the challenges of a transaction. Yes, you don't want to be that fire. But when you start looking at that and you say, well, I'm going to keep my emotions in check. Well, the challenge with that is that we conditioned ourselves to not feel. We've even conditioned ourselves to not even experience emotions. And so we'll cloak it by saying, hey, I'm okay. Oh, I'm fine with that. Interesting. And what I got into the habit of is because I had another mentor who would always say these words. Interesting. Hey, are you having a good day? Well, I'm kind of having an interesting day. Well, then all of a sudden you would share something with them and they would say, interesting. They say, well, that keeps the emotions in line. But what it also does is it conditions you to never feel. So are there moments of your life that you should keep yourself in check? Is there moments in your life where, yes, you should have emotional discipline, which is a really important principle, emotional discipline? No question you should have emotional discipline. But you also need to make sure that you're feeling and that you're expressing your emotion, and that in some words you're not dead to the world. And I've often said this for years, and that is that most people die at age 40 and are buried at 80. I hope that's not you. When you think about that, die at 40, buried at 80. Because the fact is that we stop feeling and we go beyond feeling and we just kind of are numb. And then we even get more aggressive with our emotional highs and lows, and we say, well, you know what? I don't know if I can feel this. So all of a sudden we're angry, so we have a lot to drink. All of a sudden, we're really disappointed and discouraged, so we take a drug. All of a sudden, you know what? We're feeling like every moment we need to somehow cloak it, numb it, and eliminate all emotion so that we don't feel anymore. And all of a sudden, if you have a passionate, vocalized position in your life of what you feel strongly about it, and because you vocalize it, all of a sudden, here they come. People are trying to, put you down, take you down, tell you not to vote, you feeling is wrong, and to try to fit you into this little box of life. So I just want you to consider something. I'm trying to point out the fact that it is your God-given right to feel, and I hope that you're taking the time to feel. I hope that you're recognizing that if there's areas of your life where you're cloaking it and you're trying to eliminate it and you're trying to not feel, or you're trying to ignore the feelings, stop doing that. If there's any two books that I could recommend on this subject, it would be the book The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer, and the other book I would highly recommend to you, which many people have read, it's somehow got a lot more popularity than The Surrender Experiment, which is always interesting to me because I think The Surrender Experiment is better than the second book that he wrote, which is called The Untethered Soul. And that's another book by Michael Singer. But the two books combined talk about the fact that two things we will do. We will hold on to all of this hatred and anger, and we won't let it pass through us. And he actually describes the emotions of life, right? Let's just say there's a bad deal. Let's just talk about a transaction that's going sideways. Well, all of a sudden the deal's going sideways. How do you feel? You feel anxious, you feel depressed, you feel angry, you feel frustrated, you feel all these emotions. But then people say, whoa, keep your emotions in check and keep them between the lines. And the problem with that is that then you get into the habit of not feeling. And here's what I believe. Not only do you have a God-given right to feel, but it's deeper than that. You have a God-given right to then move through those feelings and handle them. I want to point that out to you. I'm going to get back to these four things. I'm getting way ahead of myself, but I can't help myself. All right? But it's your God-given right not only to feel, but it's your God-given right to deal with those feelings. to manage them, to work through them, to not numb yourself out, to not ignore them, to not push them down deep inside of you, to never be spoken of again. That's not the management we're looking for. The management that we're looking for is for you to feel that there may be moments where you're frustrated, and you need to feel that frustration, and let it maybe be a element of assertion to you winning the game of selling real estate. There may be a day where you're feeling angry. Feel the anger for a moment and let it be a motivator to moving your life in the direction that you want it. The challenge for each one of us is that, again, we've been given this God-given right to feel, but we've also been given the God-given right to manage those feelings. And when we continue to numb ourselves out, to ignore them, to hold on to the negative ones all of a sudden, then we're not living the life that we're destined to live. And not only is our personal life in probably turmoil, but we know that it has a huge impact on our business life. And so look, today is a day that I want you to just simply wake up, and I want you to pay attention to what it is that you're feeling. What is it that you feel? What are the feelings you're holding on to? What are the feelings you're not letting go? Like the winds that can blow through you. You can acknowledge, hey, I'm angry, but you don't need to hold on to the anger. You can say, man, I'm really disappointed, but you don't need to hold on to the disappointment. And when we get into the habit of feeling our feelings, not necessarily holding on to the feelings that are not serving us, but letting them pass through us, we will begin to be the leader that we are meant to be, and the way in which we sell, build, and gain the respect of our peers, the way in which we gain the respect of the people we serve, and the people that we are here to help in the game of real estate.